Everyone remembers Luna Lovegood as the sweet, spacey girl with radish earrings and a dreamy voice. But what if I told you that was just the surface? Because behind the quirky smiles and bizarre beliefs lies one of the most misunderstood characters in the entire wizarding world. A girl who didn't just believe in nargles and conspiracies, but may have been hiding abilities even Dumbledore was afraid to confront. There are rumors, whispers even, that Luna wasn't just eccentric. She was something else entirely. Some say she was a seer. Others think she could read minds. And a few believe she was connected to a darker legacy than anyone realized. This isn't just another odd Ravenclaw story. This is about magic, obsession, and the kind of truth most people choose to ignore. Because once you learn what Luna Lovegood might really have been capable of, you'll never see her the same way again. Luna Lovegood's story doesn't begin at Hogwarts. It begins in a quiet, twisted tower house in the English countryside, a home filled with strange artifacts, dangerous books, and one of the most eccentric men in the wizarding world, her father, Xenophilius. But the real turning point in Luna's life came when she was just 9 years old. She was in the same room when her mother, a gifted, experimental witch, attempted a spell that went horribly, irreversibly wrong. One moment of magical brilliance turned into a fatal accident. There was no time for goodbyes, just an explosion of uncontrolled energy and silence. Now imagine being 9, watching your parent disappear in a burst of light and chaos, and then being told it was just an accident. No closure, no answers, just grief and questions. From that day forward, Luna was never the same, but not in the way people expected. She didn't lash out. She didn't cry for attention. Instead, she turned inward, quiet, observant, and oddly calm, almost too calm, like a child who'd seen something beyond this world and didn't come back quite the same. Her father, still broken from the loss, buried himself deeper into his world of conspiracies, mythical creatures, and paranoid journalism. He believed the Ministry of Magic was lying. That truth was hidden behind layers of corruption, and that only a select few, the enlightened, could truly see what was real. And Luna? She soaked it all in. She wasn't raised on facts. She was raised on possibility, on belief. Every bedtime story was a theory. Every breakfast conversation was a warning about creatures no one else believed in. By the time she arrived at Hogwarts, she didn't walk into the Great Hall like a typical first year. She drifted in like a ghost, soft-spoken, wide-eyed, and untouched by the judgment of others. To most, she seemed loony, delusional. But if you paid attention, there was something else in her eyes. Awareness, stillness, the kind of unsettling calm that doesn't come from innocence, but from understanding. Some say her trauma made her weird. Others think it made her powerful, because after you witness death, after you grow up around obsession and mystery, you stop seeing the world the way everyone else does. And for Luna Lovegood, that would become both her gift and her curse. At Hogwarts, Luna Lovegood didn't waste time trying to fit in. She didn't need to. While other students obsessed over Quidditch scores and who was snogging who, Luna was talking about invisible creatures that lived in your ears and ministry officials using dark magic to rot people's teeth. It sounds insane, until you realize where those ideas came from. Her father, Xenophilius, had turned the Quibbler into a one-man mission to reveal the truth the ministry didn't want you to know. Every issue was filled with bizarre claims. Fudge was controlling the weather. The Department of Mysteries was breeding half-giants. The Rotfang conspiracy, perhaps the most infamous, claimed high-ranking officials were secretly trying to take over the ministry using gum disease and dark arts. And Luna? She believed every word of it. But here's what most people missed. She didn't just believe these theories. She repeated them, constantly, as if they were her personal mission. She would interrupt conversations with odd facts no one asked for. She wore a necklace made of butterbeer corks to ward off nargles. And she didn't flinch when people mocked her. She didn't even seem to notice. To some, it was quirky. To others, deeply unsettling. Because conspiracy theories aren't harmless when they shape your reality. And Luna's reality was something no one else could fully understand. Some students wrote her off as gullible, others as delusional. But what if she wasn't? What if Luna didn't just echo her father's madness? What if she absorbed it? What if she wanted to believe the world was full of hidden threats, because that made more sense than facing the chaos of her mother's death? Or worse, what if she actually saw things other people couldn't? That question would only grow louder as Luna's uncanny insights and her timing started to seem a little too perfect. There's a theory, whispered in forums, deep in fan circles, that Luna Lovegood wasn't just weird. She was gifted, not in the academic sense, not even magical in the usual way, but psychically. Think about it. From the moment she stepped into Hogwarts, Luna had an unnerving habit of knowing things she was never told. She would make eerily accurate guesses about people's thoughts. She finished sentences before others began them. And she always seemed tuned in to something no one else could hear. Is that just intuition? Or was it something more? Some fans believe Luna was an untrained seer, someone with raw prophetic ability that went unrecognized simply because she didn't fit the mold. Others think she may have had a touch of legilimency, the rare ability to tap into people's thoughts without a wand or spell. And then there's her connection to the Thestrals, creatures only visible to those who've witnessed death. Luna could see them long before Harry could. And she wasn't scared of them. She understood them. She even spoke about them with a kind of reverence, like she'd known them her whole life. It's as if Luna had one foot in another world, a quieter world, a world of whispers, of hidden truths, of silent magic. The kind of magic that doesn't come from books, but from pain, from loss, from staring death in the face and not looking away. The professors at Hogwarts never questioned her abilities. They just ignored them. But what if that was intentional? What if Dumbledore, the master of secrets, knew exactly what Luna was and decided it was safer to let her drift under the radar? Because an untrained mind that can see beyond reality is a beautiful gift. But in the wrong moment, it's a dangerous weapon. Here's where things start to get unsettling. Because if Luna's powers weren't taught and weren't trained, where did they come from? Some believe the answer lies in her bloodline. And the theories? They're wild, but disturbingly plausible. There's a long-standing fan theory that Luna Lovegood might be distantly related to Sybil Trelawney, the famously unstable divination professor known for her rare but deadly accurate prophecies. Both women show signs of erratic behavior, cryptic insight, and a deep connection to magic that exists just outside the rational world. Could they share a common ancestor? Maybe even a forgotten bloodline of gifted seers? But that's not the only theory. Others point to the Malfoy family. Yes, that Malfoy family. Luna and Draco are both blonde, pale, and carry themselves with a certain aristocratic detachment. A few fans have speculated that the Lovegoods may have branched off from the same pure blood tree generations ago, a disgraced or eccentric cousin line cast out for their unorthodox beliefs. And then there's her mother. We know almost nothing about her, except that she was an extraordinary witch who died experimenting with experimental spells. What kind of spells? We never find out. But the idea of a powerful witch delving into unstable magic in a family already steeped in strange beliefs is chilling. What if her mother wasn't just experimenting? What if she was trying to enhance something in Luna, something magical, something dangerous, and it backfired? Some even believe that Luna's odd behavior, psychic leanings, and emotional detachment could be the result of magical side effects from that accident. A neurological twist, a magical mutation, a living imprint of a spell gone wrong. Because Luna wasn't just born different. She might have been made different, whether by blood or by magic. There's something undeniably unique about Luna Lovegood. She doesn't think like the others. She doesn't act like the others. And while some students found her charming, most just found her strange. But here's a theory that's gained quiet momentum in recent years. What if Luna wasn't just eccentric, but neurodivergent? Many fans have noticed signs that align with traits seen on the autism spectrum. Luna often avoids eye contact, speaks in a flat or dreamlike tone, and struggles with social boundaries. She's deeply focused on niche interests, like mythical creatures no one else believes in. She's bluntly honest, to the point of being accidentally hurtful. And she never quite adjusts her behavior to fit in, because she doesn't seem to care about doing so. And yet, despite all this, or maybe because of it, she sees the world in a way no one else can. But here's where things get complicated. Luna doesn't just believe in nargles and rackspurts. She's obsessed with them. She clings to her beliefs even when presented with facts. She holds on to patterns no one else sees, and never backs down, no matter how much others mock her. That kind of unwavering focus can be a gift, but it can also be dangerous. Because when someone is that convinced they're right, they stop questioning themselves. And when everyone else dismisses them, they stop listening to anyone. It raises the question, was Luna's mind a quiet kind of genius? Or was she walking a fine line between clarity and delusion? The wizarding world saw her as harmless, a quirky Ravenclaw who talked to herself and wore specter specs. But what if they were wrong? What if Luna wasn't just marching to the beat of her own drum? What if she was spiraling deeper into a reality only she could see? Because when brilliance becomes obsession, the difference between a visionary and a threat can vanish in an instant. So who was Luna Lovegood, really? A soft-spoken dreamer? A misunderstood genius? Or something much darker and far more complex? Her tragic past shaped her. Her father's beliefs defined her. And somewhere in between, Luna became something Hogwarts had never seen before. A girl who didn't follow rules, didn't crave approval, and didn't fear the unknown. Because she lived in the unknown. She walked through life with one foot in reality and the other in something deeper. A world of magic most people couldn't see, or didn't want to. And maybe that's the real secret. Maybe Luna Lovegood wasn't just odd or gifted. Maybe she was a mirror, reflecting the uncomfortable truths that no one else wanted to admit. That grief changes people. That belief, no matter how strange, gives us purpose. And that sometimes, the ones we call crazy are the ones closest to the truth. So the next time you see Luna with her specter specs, talking about invisible creatures and ministry conspiracies, ask yourself, is she just being Luna? Or is she the only one actually paying attention?